Hello, friends. Welcome back to Learning Nails and Aesthetics. We are continuing the chapter Glossary, General Anatomy and Physiology. This is a glossary for chapter 2 in the Milady Nails book. Starting on page 53, goes to page 57, and then we'll start the next chapter in another video. Okay, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. You know the drill. Also, keep in mind, I am not AI, so mistakes will be made. You can just laugh along with me. It's fine. We'll learn this together. Starting at the top of page 53. Mitochondria. Organelles that take in nutrients, break them down, and create energy for the cell. Mitosis. A reproduction process of human tissue in which the cell divides into two identical cells. Mitral valve, also referred to as the bicuspid valve, the valve that separates the two chambers on the left side of the heart. The valve permits blood to fall from the left atrium into the ventricle where the atrium contracts. When the atrium relaxes, the valve closes to prevent the blood from backing up into the atrium and from there into the lungs. That would be really bad. Motor nerve, also known as afferent nerve, a nerve that carries impulses from the brain to the muscles. The muscular system, a body system that covers shapes and supports, that didn't sound right. Muscular system, a body system that covers, shapes, and supports the skeletal tissue, contracts and moves various parts of the body. Muscle tissue, tissue that contracts and moves various parts of the body. Myology, the study of nature, structure, function, and diseases of the muscles. Nerve, a whitish cord made up of bundles of nerve fibers held together by connective tissue through which impulses are transmitted. Nerve tissue, tissue that carries messages to and from the brain and controls and coordinates all body functions. Nervous system, the body system composed of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves, controls and coordinates all other systems inside and outside of the body and makes them work harmoniously and efficiently. Neurology, the science of the structure, function, and pathology of the nervous system. Neuron, a nerve cell, the primary structural unit of the nervous system, consisting of the cell body, nucleus, dendrites, and axon. Non-striated muscle, also known as a smooth muscle, is involuntary and functions automatically without conscious will. These muscles are found in the internal organs of the body, such as the digestive or respiratory systems. Nucleoplasm, a fluid found in the nucleus of the cell that contains proteins and DNA. Nucleus, the dense, active protoplasm found in the center of the cell that plays an important part in cell reproduction and metabolism. Oncolysis, Oncolysis, a medical condition caused by physical separation on the nail plate from the nail bed. Organ, implants, in plants and animals, a structure composed of specialized tissue that allows it to perform specific functions. Organelle, a small organ. Origin, the part of the muscle that does not move. It is attached to the skeleton and usually part of a skeletal muscle. Osteoarthritis, a joint disease. Osteology, the study of anatomy, structure, and function of the bones. Ovary, a female gland that functions in sexual reproduction as well as determining female sexual characteristics. Pancreas, an organ that secretes enzyme-producing cells responsible for digesting carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. Parathyroid gland regulates blood calcium and phosphorus levels so that the nervous and muscular systems can function properly. Patella, also known as the accessory bone, forms the kneecap joint. Pectoralis muscle, muscles of the chest that assist the swinging movements of the arm. Pectoralis minor, muscle of the chest that assists the swinging movements of the arm. Pericardium, a double-layered membranous sac enclosing the heart. Peripheral nervous system, PNS, the system of nerves that connects the peripheral outer parts of the body, parts of the body to the central nervous system. It has both sensory and motor nerves. Peroneus brevis, a muscle that originates in the lower surface of the fibula. It bends the foot down and out. Peroneus longus, a muscle that covers the outer side of the calf and inverts the foot and turns it outward. Phalange, also known as digit, bone of the fingers or toes. Physiology, the study of the functions and activities performed by the body structures. Perineal gland, a gland of the endocrine system that plays a major role in sexual development, sleep, and metabolism. Pituitary gland, a gland of the endocrine system that affects almost every physiologic process of the body: growth, blood pressure, contractions during childbirth, breast milk production, sex organ functions in both women and men, thyroid gland function, and the conversion of food into energy, which is metabolism. Plasma, the fluid part of the blood that carries food and other useful substances to the cells. Platelet, a blood cell that aids in the forming of clots. Popliteal artery divides into two separate arteries known as the anterior tibial and the posterior tibial arteries. The anterior tibial artery goes to the foot and becomes the dorsalis pedis, which supplies the foot with blood. The posterior tibial artery supplies blood to the ankles and the back of the lower leg. Posterior tibial artery supplies blood to the ankles and the back of the lower leg. I didn't just repeat that. It is the next word in the glossary. Pronator, the muscle that turns the hand inward so the palm faces down. Protoplasm, a colorless jelly-like substance found inside the cells, in which food eliminates. Let's do that one again. Protoplasm, a colorless jelly-like substance found inside the cells, in which food elements such as proteins, fats, carbohydrates, mineral salts, and water are present. Pulmonary circulation. Blood circulation moves from the heart to the lungs to be purified, then returns to the heart again. Radial artery, the artery that supplies blood to the thumb side of the arm and the back of the hand, supplies the muscles of the skin, hands, fingers, wrists, elbows, and forearms. Radial nerve, with its branches, supplies the thumb side of the arm and back of the hand. Radius, the smaller bone in the forearm, which is your lower arm, on the same side as the thumb. Red blood cell, a blood cell that carries oxygen from the lungs to the body cells and transports carbon dioxide from the cells back to the lungs. Reflex, an automatic reaction to a stimulus that involves the movement of an impulse from a sensory receptor along the sensory nerve to the spinal cord. A response impulse is sent along a motor neuron to a muscle, causing a reaction, like the quick removal of the hand from a hot object. Reflexes do not have to be learned. They are automatic. Bumped it again. I apologize. Reproductive system. The body system responsible for processes by which plants and animals produce offspring. Respiration, the act of breathing, the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the lungs within each cell. Respiratory system, the body system consisting of the lungs and air passages, enables breathing, supplying the body with oxygen, and eliminating carbon dioxide as a waste product. Saphenous nerve supplies impulses to the skin of the inner side of the leg and foot. Sensory nerve, also known as an afferent nerve, a nerve that carries impulses or messages from the sense organs to the brain, where sensations of touch, cold, heat, sight, hearing, taste, smell, pain, and pressure are experienced. Serratus anterior, a muscle of the chest that assists in breathing and in raising the arm. Skeletal system, the physical foundation of the body, comprising 206 bones that vary in size and shape that are connected by movable and immovable joints. Soleus, a muscle that originates at the upper portion of the fibula and bends the foot down. Spinal cord, the portion of the central nervous system that originates in the brain, extends down to the lower extremity of the trunk, and protected by the spinal column. Striated muscle, also known as a skeletal muscle, is a muscle that is voluntarily or consciously controlled. Superficial perineal nerve, also known as the muscular cutaneous nerve, extends down the leg just under the skin, supplying impulses to the muscles and the skin of the leg, as well as the toes and skin on the top of the foot. Supinator, the muscle of the forearm that rotates the radius outward and the palm upward. Cerebral nerve supplies impulses to the skin on the outer side and the back of the foot and leg. Systemic circulation, also known as general circulation, the circulation of blood from the heart throughout the body and back again to the heart. Talus, also known as the ankle bone of the foot, one of the three bones along with the tibia and fibula that make up the ankle joint. Tarsal, one of three subdivisions of the foot comprising 7 bones, talus, calcaneus, navicular, 3 cuneiform bones, and the cuboid. The other 2 subdivisions are the metatarsal and the phalanges. All 3 subdivisions comprise 26 bones. Testes, the male glands that function in sexual reproduction as well as determining male sexual characteristics. Thorax, the chest, the elastic bony cage that serves as a protective framework for the heart, lungs, and other internal organs. Thyroid gland controls how quickly the body burns energy, metabolism, makes proteins, and controls how sensitive the body should be to other hormones. Tibia, the larger of the 2 bones that form the leg below the knee. The tibia may be visualized as a bump on the big toe side of the ankle. Tibial nerve, a division of the sciatic nerve that passes behind the knee. It subdivides and supplies impulses to the knee, the muscles of the calf, the skin of the leg, and the sole, heel, and underside of the toes. Tibialis anterior, a muscle that covers the front of the shin. It bends the foot upward and inward. Tissue, a collection of similar cells that perform a specialized function. Trapezius, the muscle that covers the back of the neck and the upper and middle region of the back, rotates and controls swinging movements of the arm. Tricep, the large muscle that covers the entire back of the upper arm and extends the forearm. Tricuspid valve, the heart valve that prevents backflow, what did I say? Let's do that one again. Tricuspid valve, the heart valve that prevents backflow between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Ulna, the inner and larger bone of the forearm, which is your lower arm. It is attached to the wrist and located on the side of the little finger. Ulnar artery, the artery that supplies blood to the muscle of the little finger side of the arm and palm of the hand. Ulnar nerve, with its branches, the nerve that affects the little finger side of the arm and palm of the hand. Valve, a structure that temporarily closes a passage or permits blood flow in one direction only. Vein, a thin-walled blood vessel that is less elastic than an artery. A vein contains cup-like valves to prevent backflow and carries blood containing waste products from the capillaries back to the heart and lungs for cleaning and to pick up oxygen. Ventricle, one of the two lower chambers of the heart. White blood cell, also known as leukocyte, a blood cell that performs the function of destroying disease-causing microorganisms. And that is the glossary, as well as the end of Chapter 2 in the Milady Nail Book, General Anatomy and Physiology. We will start Chapter 3, Skin Structure Disorders and Diseases, in an upcoming video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and check out my other videos as well. I hope this was helpful to you. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.